Your bulldog has a yeast infection, and here's why, but I'll get to that in a second. It's the corn chip smelling, red gunk in the ears and in the eye boogers. It's in his paws and in the folds of his or her skin. It makes her itchy, gives her hot spots and ear infections. If you've ever had a yeast infection yourself, you know how uncomfortable this is. Imagine that for years. You tried chlorhexidine, antifungal wipes, Apoquel or Cytopoint, and even Epsom salt or apple cider vinegar baths. It all goes away for a few days, and then the yeast comes back. Let's talk about why this is happening, and not just to your dog, to so many dogs. Here's a petri dish I swiped with yeast, the same yeast that's in your dog's gut. Then I put kibble on top of it and waited a week. Now, yeast love to eat anything that contains starches, grains, or sugars, so naturally, a week later, the petri dish looked like this. All that fuzzy white stuff is living yeast. It's been eating the kibble, repopulating, spreading out, and thriving. The same thing is happening inside your dog's gut. Yeast cells are eating kibble twice a day, every single day. And even if you've moved on to a newer, better food, the yeast is still likely eating the starches and carbs in that food. Okay, so the very presence of yeast cells in the gut causes inflammation. The gut is basically one long tube, and when there's inflammation present in one particular spot for too long, that spot gets weaker and holes form. You've heard of leaky gut. That's leaky gut. And now stuff can leak out of this hole into your dog's bloodstream, including the nasty little yeast cells themselves. Well, your dog's bloodstream is like his subway system. The yeast cells can now travel throughout the body and get off at any stop they want to. Some of their favorite stops are the ears, genitals, paws, eyes, anywhere with low airflow and moisture. You clean those spots with antifungal wipes, which does the trick. It kills the yeast. But there are scores of yeast growing in the gut and waiting in line to get out of those holes so that they can take the trip to the place that you just cleaned. You cannot heal this issue at the surface. It's an inside problem. And here's how to fix it. Change the food. Here's a list of about 40 foods from our yeast-focused nutritionist that she recommends to her clients, but frankly, it is pretty dog by dog dependent. So take that with a grain of salt and let us help you if you're able to do that. But once your dog is on a new food, you can detox the yeast from the body with an MCT3 oil that's high in caprylic acid and low in lauric acid. That'll wipe out excess yeast in the gut and expel it from the body. Kind of a rough 2 weeks, honestly, because all the symptoms get magnified, but then you're left with a clean slate of a gut, which you then pack with probiotics, good bacteria to replace the yeast. And as long as your dog is eating a non-yeast feeding food long term, those yeast will stay at bay. They will stay in check. The gut will stay balanced. You just got to get the yeast out first. So if he's constantly itching,